A diver finds a perfectly preserved train wagon on the ocean floor sealed shut, with something moving inside. But when he opens the door, what he discovers isn't just strange, it feels impossible. And someone or something might still be riding that train. But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. Jonas wasn't looking for anything special, just another peaceful solo dive. But halfway through his descent, he saw something no diver expects to see – a set of railroad tracks disappearing into the sand. They looked surprisingly intact, stretching straight into the murky blue like they'd been built yesterday, not buried for decades. He hovered above them, confused. There were no wrecks on this dive site, at least none he'd ever heard of. Curiosity tugged at him. Slowly, he followed the tracks into deeper water, careful not to disturb the seafloor. His flashlight beam moved ahead like a spotlight, revealing the rust-colored mystery with each kick. The tracks led to a train car, just one. Standing silently on the ocean bed, it looked like it had rolled into position and then stayed. It wasn't destroyed or broken, it was whole, intact, waiting. Time and tide hadn't eaten away at it like other wrecks Jonas had seen. It almost looked preserved. He circled the train car slowly. Its sides were worn, but a faded logo was still visible – JHIL. He didn't recognize it. The doors were closed, sealed by age and pressure. He felt a strange tightness in his chest. This wasn't just sunken metal, it felt like it meant something. But what? His flashlight skimmed across one of the windows. Something moved inside. Just for a second. A ripple. A shadow. It could have been fish. Or not. Jonas steadied his breath and moved closer. The window glass was fogged and barnacled, but behind it he thought he saw rows of empty seats. Passenger seats. It wasn't a freight car, it was a passenger car. That made it stranger. Why would an entire train be submerged out here alone, and why did it seem arranged? Not wrecked, not crashed, just set down, like a scene in a dream, or the start of a movie where something's not quite right. Jonas tried the rear door. It didn't budge at first, but after a little leverage with his dive knife, it cracked open. A small cloud of silt puffed out. Inside, everything was still. Seats lined both sides, some were torn. Some looked untouched. Sea moss danced lightly in the doorway like a curtain. He floated into the aisle, light sweeping across the empty rows. The car was quiet, too quiet. There was no fish, no life, just old metal and silence. Then, as he passed the third row, he saw something peculiar, a small backpack strapped to one of the seats. Bright blue, barely faded. That didn't make sense. Everything else was old. This looked newer. He hovered beside it, no name tag. He reached out and gently opened the top. Inside was a child's book, sealed in a plastic bag, its pages dry. He pulled it out and read the title, My First Train Ride. He looked up quickly, scanning the car. A chill ran through him. Why would a seemingly preserved book, protected from water, be here? On a train that shouldn't exist, in a place no one knew about? His heart began to race. This wasn't an accident. Someone put this here and not that long ago. Jonas turned to leave, but a glint from the front of the car caught his eye. Something metallic hanging from the driver's console. He swam up to it and saw a small keychain, a conductor's hat, dangling from a hook. As he reached for it, something clicked behind him. He whipped around. One of the seat trays had folded down. On its surface, a paper cup. It hadn't been there before. It couldn't have been. He hadn't kicked it. Nothing had touched it. But there it was. He backed away slowly, every instinct telling him the ocean was holding its breath. Outside, the water suddenly felt colder, dimmer. He pushed back through the exit, closed the door behind him, and followed the tracks in reverse. As he swam, he couldn't shake the feeling that the train hadn't always been there, that it showed itself only when someone needed to see it. When he surfaced, the world above felt brighter, normal, real. But Jonas couldn't stop thinking about that book, that backpack, that cup. Someone had been there recently, or maybe they never left. He didn't speak of the dive for weeks. He couldn't. It felt like it wasn't his to explain. A month later, A message arrived in his inbox. No name, no subject, just a single line. "Did you take the book?" He stared at it for hours. Eventually, he deleted it. But sometimes, when sleep won't come, he dreams of train tracks that stretch forever. And the next stop? He's not sure.